Toy Anonymous episode 1. I'm here with
Yay!
Jason. Oh, okay. I'm here with Jason. My name's Alex, aka Sorry Alligator.
Sorry, alligator.
Do you have an AKA, dude? An alias?
Oh, I don't. I'm not cool enough to have a handle. Sorry.
Maybe one day, man. Maybe one day.
One day.
Maybe we'll discover it live on the show.
It's like a name sign for the deaf. You know, you don't get it until somebody else gives it to you. So we'll figure something out maybe.
Oh, I like that. Okay, cool. I like that a lot, actually. Hopefully I can have a hand in that because I have some ideas.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I like it.
excellent. So, Jason, thanks for meeting me today. It's fairly loose. Obviously, we're going to kind of work on the flow over time, but we're toy collectors. This stuff comes naturally for us. If you stop me on the street and ask me certain things about toys, I could probably just go off. So I'm hoping some of that energy carries forth into the show. Yeah, you asked me a little earlier when we first logged on. You asked me what this little guy was down here. You asked me about this figure. Obviously, I've yet to put him into a proper spot. But this is Anti-Monitor, and you were about to go into a spiel about him. McFarlane.
Well, I recognized after you said it, I recognized the figure as seeing him today somewhere in Target, or I think is where I was at.
Yeah, he's been out for a minute.
Yeah.
And initially, I didn't want to get him because there's just too many flat, kind of yellow all over him, just plasticky yellow. Anytime I see something like this, I think another example would be the Dr. Octopus animated for the Marvel Legends line. Anytime I just see this flat yellow, it just looks like a dog chew toy to me. It looks like something my dog would play with, and it just puts me off.
I was thinking more when I first saw him initially going up to him. I thought he was a Nightfall Batman, just because of the color, the size. I mean, it's missing the back of the wings, but yeah.
You're exactly right. This is the identical color scheme, even down to the silver. Of course, he's non-caped, but I like that color scheme actually, and that's something that I want to do. Actually, I don't necessarily want to put figures in correlation to like what properties they're a part of, but it would be nice to have a display of just like color scheme, like a lot of blue and yellow characters. This guy would be next to Asriel, and then other blue and yellow characters that I had in mind, maybe a Nightwing or something like that.
Would it be all of the same, like McFarlane, like DC, or would you like span universes, like a Cyclops, as a matter of fact, because he's blue and yellow? Would you put him in there?
Absolutely, as long as it's in scale.
We've broken it.
Yeah,
okay, there's not a lot to that scale though. That's going to be what? That's like a 7-inch or 8-inch.
Well, this would be a 7-inch, like a 110 McFarlane, but but he's like a monster, and in the comic, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah, thank you. He changes in size, right? He goes up, he goes down. So you could pretty much put him with any line. You could put this cat with superpowers.
I'm not gonna lie. I bought a lot of the Crisis on Infinite Earth comics. I didn't probably read all of them.
No, of course, it's huge. You got time.
I have no idea. Yeah. I'll go back and start looking through my catalog, as it were.
But I'm getting back into comics, so obviously this recent McFarlane wave sparked that for me, actually, when they announced those 4 figures, which I have in the closet currently. And I'm thinking about doing something like you in the future. I'm going to take off these closet doors and just have shelves. But they announced that wave recently that was, in a hot controversy for a minute because of their price point. But if you got them all together as a bundle, it was a reasonable semi, and of course using the coupon code. Those
Which one was this? Which was the wave? Sorry.
Yeah, no sweat. That was the Monitor Build-A-Figure wave. So you had your Psycho Pirate, you had your Spectre, which was the one that sold out.
Spectre. Okay.
Yeah, with the green cape.
Probably the most, so far, it's the most recognizable one.
Yeah. Like I said, it sold out first because everybody wanted him. And you had your Old Man Superman and some Kid Flash character that no one liked. Well, some people liked him, but he came with oddly scaled hands.
Okay, so I know Kid Flash, I know Spectre, and I know Superman. I have no idea who this pirate guy is.
Yeah, Psycho Pirate. Well, interesting thing about Psycho Pirate is I actually have the platinum edition of Psycho Pirate, and I know somewhat little about him myself, but I was a big fan of the figure. I'll grab him. Yeah, this is the Psycho Pirate Platinum, and what's cool about him is he looks nothing really like the non-platinum version. Obviously, the buck is the same, but they repainted the colors. He's got a face instead of
gray and
black.
silver as opposed to something else.
It's kind of a lavender
Right.
and gray, yeah, or a lavender and dark blue. Really cool color scheme. You can't think of many characters that look like this. I also grabbed this guy. Like this guy is just. What do you think about him as the McFarlane Azrael? Light's gonna get better in here soon.
All right, let me see. Hold on.
Can you see this guy?
Okay. Is that the red one? I saw the red
That is
one.
correct. I also have the blue one.
Okay.
Really cool.
What's difference in terms of platinum? Okay. When do
Yeah.
platinum ones come out? What's the why? Because I want the platinum penguin.
Oh,
This is not for sale yet.
collector's edition. Yeah. See, he's got the blue and lavender or something like that, right? The
He looks
original
like the old school superpowers,
edition.
and then
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, they have
1966 Batman or whatever.
They have a platinum for each, I think, of those three figures.
So when do they come out though? Does the main line get released first and then it goes platinum, or is it?
Platinum's just a chase figure. It's just a chase variant. It's just super short packed. So for every few figures, that one will be packed in a box, something like that. It's just a chase, kind of like what they do with Pop. And McFarlane is kind of one of the only lines that I collect that actually has platinums. Or chase figures. Yeah, platinum is just their terminology for a chase figure. Do you understand the concept of chase?
Limited, I'm assuming.
Okay. So it's basically just a rare variant. So it's probably just a different paint job. The reason I
Okay.
think this one, I'll show you the blue Azrael. He's right here. I won't take as long. So this is the chase version of that Azrael, the blue, which it sounds like you've seen
Nope.
before.
Now, why is the chase one the blue one? Because I was pretty sure that Azrael was blue in the comics. So wouldn't the chase one be red, which is an alternate variant of that?
I don't know if the chase is necessarily tied to the lore that deeply. You're probably right. Well, the blue one they already kind of made. There was that Walmart exclusive, which they're really hard to find, obviously, now, and they go at a bit of a premium. So this one right here, you're looking at them in the middle there. The one that's going for 180 on Toy Wiz, whatever that is.
Wow,
That's Toy Wizzing your money away, if you know what I mean.
that's probably true. Soon to be future sponsors, so we better not talk bad about them.
Maybe that's their slogan. Oops. I got them for I think $70 or 65, so about double the price that it was when it was a Walmart exclusive. Actually, when it was a Walmart exclusive, it was $20. And Walmart exclusives, as you know, are painful. So you could see here, he's got the same buck, pretty much as these guys. He came out about a year ago. These guys came out recently, like a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
But they got the same legs. You see the legs?
Oh, so it's a reuse there. Okay.
Correct. You click on them. Yeah, reuse, exactly. But they all have a different shade of gray, which is cool, which as a collector I was happy about. That might have prevented me from springing for that version that I don't have yet, which he looks like Nightfall Batman, right? He's got the hooks kind of on his cowl there. So it's an evolution, right? That's pre this in the comic. When he gets all decked out and armored up and he's unstoppable. And look at the back. McFarlane does have pretty plain boxes for the most part, but they just fill up the back. That's nice. You know what I mean?
You are a fan of box art. I will give you that. Yes.
I do a share of unboxing, but sometimes I like to keep something in the box if I really like the box. You're looking at another Azrael from White Knight there.
Yeah. So Nightfall was in my well, not really in my wheelhouse, but it was definitely a thing when we were growing up, right? This was probably what I would say mid to late 90s for Nightfall when it first came out.
Yeah. That's when Bane first hit the scene. It was in the 90s.
And so
for sure.
I definitely remember this Batman here being a thing. I didn't know if it was Batman or somebody else playing Batman. And I remember obviously it's the iconic image of Batman, Bane breaking Batman's back and all that other stuff.
What's his name?
Now, obviously,
if you hover over that, does it say the character's name again? If you hover over that Toy Whiz link,
yeah, it's Azrael.
I can't remember his name right now. I didn't know I was going to be going over lore today. But if you go down a little bit more, it'll say his name right there, Jean, the character that actually is Azrael.
I was just, it was funny because doesn't matter to me. I'm not a big lore person, whatever. But it was just one of those things where, there was so many things. John, yes, exactly. Now make it so. We will make it so. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I knew of it. I was excited for it, but I never really paid a lot of attention to it. And now they're bringing these figures back, and so now it kind of sort of takes me back a little bit to my childhood or to my teenage years. I'm not that old. No, I'm old. Just kidding.
I put your age on the screen.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. The other day I thought I was 50, but I'm not there yet, so that's good. Yeah, so but I don't remember any of these capes. This cape with the spiky weirdness.
Going back to the figure there, I mean, when that figure was first announced, like I wasn't super excited about these just flat, unpainted pieces of plastic coming out of his back. But in practice, and I've yet to unbox any one of those guys. Perhaps I'll do that in the near future. In practice, I think it looks pretty cool, especially if you're kind of posing them from the front there. Looking at them from the front, like I really like that they painted the visor red. Even though it's on red plastic, they still added some paint there. Obviously, the more paint, the better. And McFarlane figure is not known for splurging. But I really want to get into some custom stuff, like maybe some black wash or something like that on the wings. I think that'd really make it pop. And so when I see something like that, I just think, well, that'll just give me some fodder for that experiment. But they've gotten into the habit of like, I think that Superman you mentioned from the Crisis on Infinite Earths also is not painted on the back, so they just stop his belt halfway, and then underneath the cape, there's just no painted belt. Like,
is the cape plastic or is it a cloth?
I think it's
molded
part of the
plastic.
mold. It's molded onto the buck, but of course on the front it's painted. So it's not a loose belt. Yeah, that's a good question actually. It's not a loose belt.
So this is McFarlane cutting corners, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, that's one of the gripes people have for sure. But they do a lot of interesting characters, So I'm a little bit beholden to them for those at least. And Mayfix obviously is one to jump on if you want to get just one Nightfall Batman.
Are you waiting for the Batmite toy from McFarlane?
I have that. Yeah, he came in the.
He did. I'm behind.
You're talking about the Batman 66, right? I have him right here. Give me a second. You're talking about this guy right here, right? Batman 66? Batmite?
Oh, yeah. This one I think is more right up your alley. I think with this, the color scheme.
Sleep on this guy.
Oh, yeah. See, I like the 66 line because I was a big fan of that Batman. That was my Batman before Michael Keaton.
Same.
The problem is that I don't like McFarlane's quality. I don't know what it is, but sometimes the new, like the figures, the capes look bad. There was a sculpt or something going on before McFarlane got a hold of it that I think is a lot better. And if I were to find that line, I probably would grab it. But I don't want to. Look, here's Batman. Batmite. This is like right up your alley.
Yeah, that's an old figure, isn't it?
Yeah, but it seems like it's right up your alley. The crazy colors.
I don't know how to pronounce him. Zard Batman. That special color scheme there. Check the back of the package there. It probably says.
It isn't. Nope. No package. No back of package. Only 2 choices. So you do own him.
Well, this is the Superpower. This is Superpowers.
Okay.
That's
okay. So they released him in Superpowers line. This is a re-release, right, of the Superpowers? The one that just came out?
That's not McFarlane. That's an old figure you're looking at. You could
really?
check if you scroll down. Yeah. I mean, look at the packaging. It looks pretty retro, doesn't it? It looks probably
No,
like
yeah, no, I was talking about the one that you were holding.
Oh yeah, this just came out maybe half a year ago.
Okay. All right. So Superpower line half a year ago. Okay.
Yeah, this is the branding for Superpower right here. I got my
Brainiac. See,
potential
it's a good one.
Potential channel mascot. Brainiac.
Yes.
We need to get pink polos like that and put our logo on it. The white
rating.
collar.
Yeah. Do they still sell those? Because
This just came out. This is the most current wave.
No, I meant the polos with the white collars because that might be a thing.
Yeah, they're out. You can still find them.
Okay.
I like this figure so much. I'm gonna do a live unboxing on the show here.
Okay.
You hear my dog barking?
Yes.
I like him so much that I picked up two, and I actually got the molder to sign it. His name is Owen Owertling. Owen Owertling, I believe is how you pronounce him. Really cool dude. I saw him at a local show in Sacramento area, and he signed this guy for me. And he told me a little story about the speaking of variants. Now it's not a platinum per se, but it is a gold label exclusive, and gold label is basically just like a store exclusive when it comes to McFarlane.
Right.
Not necessarily a Chase, but they're in regular supply, but just at one particular store. And this was a McFarlane store platinum, or excuse me, gold label. And it's a Brainiac, but he's got a little mustache on, so it's a variant of Brainiac, and I've yet to unbox. Just came today. Does
it come in a vehicle?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. This is the this is the regular Brainiac as we know him, his vehicle, or the one that is.
I love that vehicle. I love that vehicle.
I've yet to unbox this too. Just came today, like I said. But my idea is to have them on display right next to each other because they're the exact same mold, obviously, and then have each Brainiac piloting their respective. God, such a cool. I mean, this is.
Would you open the one that was signed? No, you wouldn't.
Oh, I will not open the one that's signed. That would be ridiculous. I mean, why pick up two?
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to take them off the table in case I accidentally knock them off. You know, the quality for McFarlane figures, the capes, obviously, you know not to pick up. I don't have all the Batman 66 characters because you're right. Some of those capes are the worst. The ones they put on Batman and Robin, like taffeta material, like old school.
And it's half of their waist. Like it only goes down and maybe covers their like tramp stamp.
Is this not
no?
Is that not character true to the character on the show? They have pretty short capes, I thought.
It went down to at least his calf.
Yeah, could
or
be.
right.
Could be.
What's that space between the calf and the thigh and the back of the leg?
It's a mystery, man. It's a mystery.
I'm not a biologist.
Well,
this is why I didn't go to school.
McFarlane also, sometimes they kind of skimp on the source material a little bit. Obviously the way
skimp
they paint
on material is what they skip on.
You mean just like they don't want to give you
no.
Well, it's probably a reused cape from something else.
They're great. They're great
but
capes.
the Superpowers capes are really nice. Look at this. I mean, it's just cloth. It's not like it's wired, obviously. What if it was wired?
That would be amazing.
I'm sure you can find those on eBay. Obviously, it's the same cape here, but like wildly different colors, and it's just fabric. It's not taffeta, which is like that weird plasticky kind of cape, Not plastic as in, like the proper McFarlane 7-inch figures, but it's just a weird kind of papery cape, is what I should say.
Down to his knees. Look at that, okay, right there. Okay, McFarlane cuts the cape off right at his crotch.
You're probably right. I can go find him, but I won't. I mean, I know where he is somewhere. But at least you can take him off really easily. Look at that.
Yes.
So
no,
cool.
I love the old Superpowers.
Yeah.
I really want to get in because I had a lot of Superpowers when I was a kid. You know, I even had the Hall of Justice. I had all of them. Like the one, my favorites were the squeeze the legs and the little punchies because that was a lot easier to play with than squeezing the arms and having him do the kickies like Aquaman.
Action
feature. The Flash was running. Yeah, the features. So I really want to pick them up.
That's what you like, man. You got to get into the origins, bro. Look at this play feature.
Look at that. No, I'm not a big fan of the play feature now, but I do like the retro aspect, the nostalgia version or the aspect of Superpowers. Like that was a line that I had a lot of. In fact, I went to my parents' house and I found my OG Robin, Superpowers Robin. And then I think also the Superpowers Superman, but not the one that was the power action. It was the one where you had a kryptonite ring, and then it was a magnet essentially. So when you held the kryptonite ring to his chest, he would fall over because it was a opposite magnet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But because I broke my other one, the one that actually moved. Do that.
I got
So
you.
I really like that mold. I really like that line, but I'm so far behind that it would not be worth it for me. To like the money that I would have to spend to get that into a collection would be
You
way
talking
more
about
than
the
I
new
really want to.
superpowers? You talking about the new superpowers?
Yeah, exactly.
Like $7 figures, which is amazing.
Yeah, but if right now, if I'm going to try to find a Superman, it's not. They're not selling them anymore. I got to go to aftermarket because I didn't get in on the ground floor.
Check
So
this
it was $7, and now it's probably like $40 or $50. Do you just have a closet full of this stuff?
You still with
Is that
me?
what
You
happens?
still-
Yeah, I'm still with you. Do you still have it? Like, you just have them in a closet, or is this like a chest that you're pulling out of?
This is still a relatively new move-in for me, so I'm I currently have
Boxes.
Well, I currently have I've gotten out of the box phase, and now I'm just putting things kind of like together in different areas of the
Okay.
house. So like
so-
on the glass table in the living room, that's where I have all my Batman 66 and Superpower stuff right now, just kind of grouped
Okay.
until I figure out where to have them live. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is where I found this guy on that glass table, and
Oh yes.
and this is what you're talking about, right? So you press this little, and there's Superman.
Yep. Yeah.
This is the guy you're talking about that you're looking for.
Might be. It might be. Is that the Superpowers one, the new release?
Still find him. He's still in GameStops.
Oh, okay.
I took his cape off. His cape's in a plastic bin right now, just so
Okay.
it makes it a little nicer, a little cleaner. Nice colors on this.
That
but yeah,
that Superman mobile is way better than the original one for sure.
is that for sure. In terms of quality or
That one, well, that one looks more like the cartoon the Superman mobile, whereas the one that was released way back in the day from Kenner was essentially just a blue vehicle that had the one middle function was the punching, and it would extend out, and then you would be able to catch bad guys with it, kind of like the Batwing's claw.
yeah.
And then there was two holes on either side of the things that you could stick people's fists into on the wings, so they would be able to fly along while holding onto the wing.
Can it be the Supermobile on the attack? The Lexor 7 armed with kryptonite? Will the Supermobile repel those deadly rays?
You bet. Ready for battle. Activate RAM.
New from Kenner's Superpowers collection. Vehicles and figures with power action, each sold separately. Flying lessons for Penguin, fish bait for Luther. Can the Supermobile defeat the Lexor 7? You decide.
I think play features is another good potential topic because I really like it when it's something you can just kind of, because what you just described, like that's an actual play feature. Like when you're a kid, you got this whole like war setup, and you're it's just like a multi-string action, as opposed to you pick something up off the shelf and you say, look at this, you know what I mean? That's just like a quick little laugh, which I still kind of like, but I agree with you. I would rather not have them because it limits what you can do with the toy custom-wise. Like, I can't even pull this guy's arms off because of that feature.
Well, so I think that
most of the origins now that they make don't have the original play features, which I appreciate.
right. So I think what toy companies need to do is they need to learn, or they need to understand who they're marketing it to. Are they marketing it to younger kids today? In which case, yes, by all means, start putting in the play features. But if they're marketing to me or to us as an adult collector, let's throw away the play features. I don't need those because I'm not going to need those to pose the figure. It's going to sit on my shelf, and I'm not going to play with it. So I don't need those toy figures or those features.
For sure.
Where-
They are trying to get the kid audience for sure with the play feature stuff, I think.
Yeah, and some of them should. Like, I think there should be a line of He-Man. In fact, there might even be some He-Man characters that are based off of the new Netflix series. Not the one that Kevin Smith wrote, but the one that they brought on kind of in between Kevin Smith writing stuff, where it was a little bit different He-Man-y. But something like that, where it was geared more towards kids, less the over 40 crowd that would remember it originally. And then they can put in the play features for that. That's fine. But for stuff like that, where I'm just going to stick it on a shelf and I want it to look pretty or pose it in some way, shape, or form that looks really cool, I don't need that. Uh-oh, here goes. It's live. We're unboxing.
There he is.
Look at that.
Man.
Does he have a play feature? Is it his collar? Can you pop his collar? That would be awesome.
Hey, it
his
would
play
be awesome.
features, pop at his collar.
And these don't have any ties on them. They're just simple. But yeah, $8, $9, $10 at the most when they cut. Or actually, if you're a game spot pro member, it's like $8, $8.50. And at Walmart they go on clearance. There's so many figures that are like $1 or $4 right now. I just picked up the Deathstroke for $4. The blue.
My Walmart is horrible for toys.
But these obviously don't have play features, but there's no articulation on the arm other than on the torso. There's no elbow articulation, and just a single jointed knee.
At least they give you the knee joint.
Scary. What's that?
At least they give you the knee joint.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think the original Superpowers even had that, right?
No, well, because they were built on the play feature. So I bet you his probably. You would have squeezed his legs and arms would have gone.
Yeah, scratch that. I don't want that. And look at the paint. I mean, this is magnificent looking. $8? Come on. I always think when a figure is priced, I'm like, would I pay? Because a really good Mafex, $100, right? Is 10 of these worth a Mafex figure? I always think. And for this guy, I would say yes. Some Marvel Legends characters that come out that aren't very well thought out, that's like $25. I wouldn't pay 4 of those. I wouldn't use 4 of those, or I wouldn't get 4 of those rather than have a Mafex,
Right.
That's my scale. But I would get 10 of these in lieu of a Mafex. When you're watching Netflix, chilling, have one of these in your hand. It's just a lot of fun, It's just kind of, doing fun stuff. Obviously, you can't do any crazy dynamic poses, but you can do something. Just like that right there, put him on a rock, Anyways, you get the drift. I like that character. I like the color scheme. So Jason, you sent me a message earlier. I
did. Did I?
I have a lot of mosquito bug bites, by the way. It's really obnoxious. Yeah. Yesterday, I took the dog out late. And
this is the Brainiac I remembered.
That's killer. I hope they put that
This
out.
is the one I have. There's talks. I've heard. No, I had him. I had him a long time ago, but I've heard that there are talking this.
That's Vax Metal, right? That looks clean.
This is old school. This is the Superpowers. Came with the comic book.
Which is what this is. This Vax Metal here.
Yeah.
That looks really cool. Obviously, a Silverhawks. We're big on that.
All right, I sent you something
regarding the new Mondo vinyl, the soft vinyl turtles.
Oh yeah.
So Leo and Donnie, currently the only ones announced. I guess they showed pictures of all 4, right? But these are the 2 that will be available.
I've only seen 2. I didn't see one with all 4 of them.
Yeah, I imagine that.
8 inches.
Pretty big.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, so $90 is probably fair for that, but it depends on if you want to start collecting vinyl toys. It's going to be hard. If I got these, it's going to be hard to not want the Juggernaut or the I think they also announced, or they also released a Scare Glow, which looks really sick. Mondo did in the vinyl line. They're cool looking and super well painted. Yikes, those look beautiful. Yeah, I don't know. What are your feelings on them?
I don't think it. I think it's too. I don't know. I like the paint job, but I don't know. I think it's too cartoony. This and it's too big. I don't have any. Well, yeah, Playmates. I don't have any shelves that would fit an 8 inch. Well, I do, but I don't like nothing else. They would just be like ogres towering over. You know what I would love? I would love an 8 inch, or maybe a 12 inch, like a Sentinel, because the HasLab's Sentinel for the X-Men is way too big. Yeah, I understand that it's to scale to the 6 inch guys, but that's just ridiculous.
I guess the idea is you're supposed to put like 100 different Marvel Legends figures fighting around him.
Oh yeah, no, I get the concept. It's a great concept, but that's a centerpiece for a room. Like you put that on a table and you build shelves around it. At that point, you're not going to be able, or it's a whole entire shelf.
Yeah.
Based on that, because of the size, just not worth it.
It's too logical. All this talk about space. We just get the toys and we make it work after.
That's true. That's true. So what? So for me, right? So right now, for me personally, what I'm trying to collect, I think, is now I'm getting into the X-Men and the DC. So Marvel and DC. Like, I've kind of got Ninja Turtles where I want it. You know, I'll collect some of the new characters here and there. Last Ronin, NECA figures for the action stuff, or for the cartoon things like that. G.I. Joe, it's just classified, like there's no tomorrow. But I got into the Mafex stuff for X-Men. So the Gambit.
Yeah. You haven't unboxed him yet, huh?
No. Storm.
Oh, you got Storm. Cool.
Oh yeah. Cyclops.
Oh, you got the blue. Nice.
Yep.
Good stuff. I got him.
And then, so I've been wanting to. So now I think I'm going to do Marvel. I'm going to do a Marvel shelf and a DC shelf.
That's cool.
But it's like, for my thing is right now, I'll stop sharing this. All the Marvel figures I know of are like X-Men figures. And I was like, well, what else am I going to get? Although I did get this Captain America. I thought this Captain America is pretty sick.
Yeah, I got him. He's great. That's 7-inch, so that's going to be a whole separate display. I'll show you an X-Men that I have that you've yet to get. I mean, are you going to get a Wolverine of some sort?
I am. I wanted the one that was the OG orange and brown one from Mafex, but he's $500. So he will not be getting.
Yeah, I got this X-Force one, and it's probably not.
Favorite, but I did
$80.
see that one. Yeah, the reason that I wanted to get that one is because the shoulder paint that everyone complains about for the yellow and blue are non-existent in that one. It's the same body, maybe a little bit different on the face sculpts.
Sorry, man.
I was gonna say mask.
And I like maskless head. You mean?
Mm-hmm.
I like that. He's this black and gray. What I really like about this X-Men or about this Wolverine is that he's got this really, and I don't think I've seen this on many figures. But he's got this really sweet texture for his clothes. So instead of it just being his pecs, just like his musculature, it's got the cloth wrinkled up on him. And the other ones don't have that. I think that looks really cool. And this is the kind of stuff I get Mafex for, this attention to detail and it just looking proportional, So I like this figure, and I think it's a good time to get him before he becomes, $400 or so.
Did you get the Deadpool to go with him?
I did not, no, because that's another point. The way I'm going to do my X-Men shelf is I'm just going to think about colors again. Like I have that blue Cyclops, I'll have the green Phoenix, and then I have a Magneto, which is red and purple, and then
you got the
like of the rainbow, just boom, boom, just like nicely aesthetic. Yeah, you got that one, which is similar to Cyclops' colors, so that's kind of why I ruled her out. But it's a sick figure. That's cool that you got her.
Yeah, you said that you went with the other Magneto, the one with the long ponytails.
I did,
Mafex,
yeah.
Right?
It's because he's got the red cape, and I think it looks really dramatic. I'm not a huge fan of the ponytails, if I'm honest. They're all right. But it's a really menacing-looking Magneto, and he's got a shine to him. The comic version, which is sick, which I was going back and forth on which one I wanted or which one I was going to eventually pull the trigger on. I think it's more matte. The red, and it's really bright. It's like candy red, and it has a purple cape. But the one with the ponytails has silver painted on the balls that go around his neck, and I think the cartoon version does not. So just little things like that help push me over the edge. But no shame in your game if you pick up the other one. I'll probably be jealous.
I picked up the other one because I like the purple cape, and it's because of the fact that it was easily that's my Magneto. I mean, we're all talking about X-Men '97 now. But that's the X-Men that I grew up with, the Jim Lee comic, that cartoon series from, the early 90s, the X-Men. I mean, that was that color scheme.
I grew up with that one as well, absolutely. Nostalgia is often a factor for me, but if I see something where I just want one of maybe two that are available, and like the one that's nostalgic is cool, but the one that is not nostalgic for me just looks better, or in my opinion will fit better in my display, I'll often just go with the one that I feel looks better. But I feel you, man. Having a collection more based around nostalgia and nothing but is a great way to go. I'm hoping to have a room that's just dedicated to the nostalgia stuff.
What's this? So that's all He-Man for you, essentially?
He-Man is hugely nostalgic, and of course Playmates Turtles. I did dip into GI Joe. I have about as many GI Joe now that I did when I was a kid. I still have a Ziploc bag of old GI Joe. There's your Nightcrawler.
Yep.
That's cool.
I think he looks really good. He poses very well. He didn't come with a lot of accessories. This is the X-Men 97 one.
Came with different hands, right? I think.
The 2 hands are fist hands instead of his little 3-fingered ones. And then the face is different. There's a darker, it's got a darker color versus a blue, just a light blue. So this one has a shadow. So.
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
Did you paint that cotton that little cotton ball that you put down there? Or?
No, it's right here. It's all. I have to glue it. Yeah.
So you're gonna put more, right? Maybe bury his feet.
Yeah. So it's gonna go along the base. I took some inspiration from some Reddit posts. Some people had various things. I was gonna end up like getting cotton balls and painting them with a what do they call them? Airbrush. But then somebody was like, "Oh, just get different colored pom poms and rip them apart, and it works just the same." So I'm gonna try that.
That's awesome, man.
So, what? I guess
Mondo!
what do you like? For me, for collecting, it's kind of I had to have that when I was a kid.
Showing you my dog.
There's a doggy. Hey, Momo.
Say that again, man. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it was just kind of a thing like, I think that we both grew up in probably a really good time for toys. In fact, I mean, I think it was the golden age of toys because, 40s, 50s, there weren't toys like we knew them in the 80s and the 90s. 70s, maybe you started getting a little bit of the action figure and the Barbie where you would kind of get into things. And then it was the 80s. It was full-blown Star Wars 3¼ inch just kind of sort of took the market by storm. And then you had G.I. Joes, you had Transformers, you had, Voltron, Golbots, Mask. There was properties just coming up. Someone would make a toy product, try to tie it into something that was like a cartoon or a comic or, hey, here's a 6-episode arc of Inhumanoids. Let's make a whole line of toys for them and let's market them out there. Yeah, cool. Oh, well, what happened to those? Okay, well, that didn't work out. Sky Commanders. That's great. I got this idea. Let's make this whole thing where the Earth is falling apart and now we just, throw things across a zip line and that'll give the kids something to do.
Sky Commanders, where all the action is above the ground.
Set up laser cable. Good work, Cable Raider.
Just as the cable cannon spots the enemy,
Sky Commanders, warning, warning.
the evil raiders attack.
It grabbed us. It was very playable. The playability was there. Like it had the articulation, it had the size, it had the vehicles, it had the He-Man. All of that stuff is there. And then there was just a dead period in the 90s. Like there was not like Power Rangers was probably about the biggest thing in the 90s. Or a lot of people didn't do toys in the 90s. And now all of a sudden there's this whole other resurgence, but it's all for the people over 40. Right? The classified G.I. Joes, the Mondo Ninja Turtles, the NECA Ninja Turtles, when you have Playmates re-releasing their toys that they had essentially the same mold, just bringing them back.
Which are only for the collectors, because I just watched a video today of somebody doing a toy hunt at Target, and they're looking at those going, like, where are the modern toys? Like, what is this? Why are these here?
Well, I don't think my kids today don't care. I mean, they're a little bit over the age group, but they don't care about anything. They never played with toys. It's all electronics now. So like for me, I'm collecting stuff that like really mattered to me when I was a kid. Like I have G.I. Joe. That's what brought me back into collecting as an adult, is the classified G.I. Joes. And then I kind of branched off to Ninja Turtles, and then I branched off to Batman the Animated Series, which I'm probably going to stop because that's not a good line, but it was something that I was really into as a kid, was that line. And I'm now into like the X-Men Marvel stuff, the DC stuff. I want to get I want some of the Marvel, like the McFarlane direct stuff, Firestorm, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Superman, Batman, just those types of characters that I had when I was growing up. Most of the Justice League, but there were some other the Marvel characters or DC characters that I collected. Marvel, it's the same. All the X-Men, I'll take. I mean, I'm not as much He-Man as you are, but like, what are you into? I mean, like, that's nostalgic for you. Is that the Spider-Man 97 or 90 something toys?
Yeah, the VHS box.
I didn't get those, but I love that cartoon.
Yeah. Decent looking figures. I don't have a lot of Marvel Legends, but I'll dip, especially for this. Now here's a nostalgia buy for me. This kind of stuff. Of course, this was Spider-Man cartoon was never my thing as much as the Batman one was, but it still represented that time for me. Anyways, what was the question? I'm sorry, man.
Well, I don't know. Like you're so what drags you to what grabs you to a toy, right? For me, it has to be nostalgic. Now, nostalgia number one is that. How does the toy look is number two. Like for me, like paint job, box art, that's distance 4 and 5, right? But for you, it seems like those are like almost 1 and 2 are the boy art. Is that true?
1 and 2?
Like box art. Like box art. Like what draws you to a character or what draws you to a figure?
I mean, I guess box art, psychologically draws you to a figure when you see it on the shelf. But like, I hate this box art. I mean, it's just, it's just always the same.
Is it the kookiness of the character for that one? Right.
Like,
okay. So for those,
like, it's just like what? I mean, it's okay, but it looks cheap to me. The box art, especially when they put these effects. Oh, and neither of these guys have the effects, but the Bam Pow effects that come with almost every single one.
Oh yeah, the new ones.
I see that. I just like I don't want it. I'd rather have an accessory like this sick sword, and this line has gotten a lot better about that, I think.
So what made you buy the skeleton guy?
I'm gonna unbox all these guys because I have a display in mind. So I'm always thinking of when I see a figure, if it's something that I don't have anything of yet, I always think, oh, can I do a display with those guys? For these, I'm gonna put them around kind of their little diorama that McFarlane also sells. They have the evil lair with that red table that also has that cool wrinkle on it, but it's molded. And then I'll probably. And I originally I was just gonna have Batman, Batgirl, and Robin kind of just peeking out, looking at them in their lair, like on the shelf somewhere in like the living room. Window.
Does it have a window? Because Batman and Robin always peered into the Bat people in a window.
They have that Batman robot that was also part of the 66 line. I was gonna have him kind of flying above.
The one who's in space with the wings.
Yeah. It's super retro style looking robot.
I thought it was a wing. I thought he was an astronaut.
He's got the jetpacks on his feet. I have the figure right here. I'll show him to you. Have you seen the Mr. Freeze in the Batman 66 line? He looks so cool.
I do. I like that.
So
so for me in this, go ahead.
I was just going to show you. Here's that Batman you were clowning on. Let's look at his cape. I mean, it seems like it goes down to the leg, dude, to the calf. It's bent there because it's cloth. Or that it might be that taffeta, which is gross, but I think it goes down to here.
Maybe it's just the way that it hangs off the neck.
It could be.
Then maybe that's what it is.
It's bent up there. Anyways, so here's that robot I was gonna have kind of peering over the evil lair.
Okay. Yep.
Feet boosters, which are cool. Anyways, they're all obviously still boxed, but I'm not going to be leaving them in here. I'm going to be taking them out and making that display. This is really well painted.
So you're an open box collector for the most part.
Yeah, but I keep some stuff in the box, and I also sometimes keep the box while still unboxing it. Like with the Mafex, you're not throwing away those boxes, dude, right? You're not throwing these away. These boxes, even after you unbox them. I mean, these are collector friendly, right? I think
I'll give them to you.
Okay, sure. You can also probably sell them. But here's the Hush. This is such a sick figure. This is Jason.
Is that the black and white one? Oh, that's the Hush. Yeah. Hush from Hush, right?
Yeah. These belts.
Isn't that his family friend? Oh, spoiler alert for all the people that didn't read Hush from 2000 something.
This is an older figure.
No, but that's not Jason Todd?
This is right here. But I think this is Jason in this head sculpt anyway.
Well, the head sculpt is probably true because that's
Yeah,
that's
that's
who
a sick head
that's that.
for Jason Todd. Look at that silver stripe in his hair.
Yeah.
Really clean. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna keep those boxes. You're gonna throw away your Mafex boxes, or get rid of them, recycle them.
I don't know. If you want them, you can have them. I do like the side art. It's very comic booky.
Which one? Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
I do like the art. I like it, but I don't know. Like for me, space is minimal. I don't have a lot of places to put things. If I think it would become like a cool little background, I'll use it. Like I have the Mezco 112 Ninja Turtle box as a background for like that set of Ninja Turtles on my shelf. They're not on there yet because I haven't taken them out of the box, but it's there, and so I think that. Let me see. Look at that. So I put it there. It's awesome. It fits the shelf really nicely.
Yeah,
And I think because it's green, it pops the color really well. So it'll just definitely put the turtles in a good light.
obviously space comes at a premium. But here's what I'm doing. Like, I'm removing the second mattress on this guest bed here, and there's no mattress down there, and it's just going to be all boxes underneath this twin bed here.
I can't do that.
I'm trying to get creative, man, but I feel your pain.
The classified line came with, they started doing artwork on the side of the box. And then inside the box where they put the figure was that artwork in black and white. And so you could kind of sort of unfold it and you could see the same artwork in black and white that's on the side of the box. I don't have any figures like, I have to go, forget it's over there. But I did keep all of those. So I was thinking of doing like a collage of those, but not putting them on a shelf, but maybe framing it. So putting it so it would display the artwork in a kind of a pattern that would make sense. Put it into a larger frame and frame it onto the wall as a thing. Because some of that artwork was pretty cool.
That's cool. And you mentioned with the Batman animated series, specifically the McFarlane kind of reissues, right? That's what you're talking about. You're stopping the collection on those because of quality control, or
I don't know about the quality control, but definitely one of those where it's like it's not different enough. Like they're doing the same thing. Like McFarlane, if you look at like anything that McFarlane's put out so far, because he has the DC rights, it's like a Batman. It's almost like it's like jungle fighting Batman. It's we're gonna freeze Batman. It's like they did in the 90s. It's like we're gonna put Batman in every other like crazy mixed up paint scheme that we can think of, comic book art Batman, and then just throw it out there to try to make some money based on Batman. I want one Batman, maybe two, right? Or make it where you can buy all of the Batmans, like the Val Kilmer Batman, the Michael Keaton Batman, the Christian Bale Batman, the Ben Affleck Batman. We're gonna skip over George Clooney's Batman, but make those characters so I can collect all of the movie Batmans and have them as a set. But I don't need rocket shooting Batman. I don't need comic art Batman, right?
you don't have to pick them up. You don't have to buy them.
I guess that's true. You're right. I don't have to buy them. But if I'm a completist, like if I have OCD and I have to complete something, then I'm going to be stuck. Like I'm already OCD'd and completing with the G.I. Joe classified lines. Like I should have stopped that a long time ago. Like I was thinking like, at 100, I'm going to stop.
There you go.
But no, now I'm like, I can't. But now I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? If I'm not going to display it, I'm only buying one. And it's going to keep it in the box, and it's going to add it to the collection. So, thankfully, I'm at that point. But with the Batman the animated series, I think I'm going to do the same thing. It's going to be what characters do I want? I don't want to buy all of them so I could build the figure, even though I might want Lockdown or Lockup. But I don't need the Batman that he's blind, right? I already have a Batman. But I will get Commissioner Gordon. I will get the Riddler. I take it back. I got the Riddler. I got the Joker. I'm missing Commissioner Gordon. I'm going to get him eventually.
You're going for the
and
platinum?
If they start, no, just whatever looks like the cartoon.
The Commissioner Gordon is a platinum. There's a platinum for that one in that particular wave.
As long as it looks like the cartoon. That's because that's where I'm at. I'm like, that's what I want to look like. I want it to look like the cartoon from the 90s. And then that other line that they have out, the Batman, the Adventures of Batman and Robin, I think is the second in that series of cartoons. The one where they look a little bit wider shoulder and Batman's the black and gray. It's this one.
Right.
So this line,
I got
if
that
they
guy
start
right here.
introducing, yeah,
Yeah, this is actually when DC Direct was doing it.
it's the same one, probably.
Correct. Well, the cape is different.
Yeah.
Cell shading here. So yeah, so it's obviously a re-release. I think the cape itself is also different. But yeah, same guy. It's a good looking figure, and there's no cell shading on that. Thank goodness. You and I have known each other since we were, of course, what is it, kindergarten?
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? Yeah.
I think we're coming up on 40-something years now, if not 40.
40-something years knowing each other. So obviously, you and I have been on some very early toy hunts, and I remember pretty vividly, I think it was like a Save Mart that your mom drove us to, and we were both after Playmates Turtles.
Wow.
Do you remember that? Was it a Save Mart? It may have been. And I remember us looking on the rack, just checking out the figures on the pegs. So I
remember us doing a lot of Batman 89 stuff, like going to places that just looking for that type of anything that was Batman 89. That was us.
Was that post Playmates? No, it must have been.
It was Kenner. Kenner was the one that released the line.
I mean, was
And
that
so-
post Playmates Turtles? They must have been kind of contemporaries, but it was like 87, 88 when we were getting those figures.
They were. Oh yeah, I'm sure that. Oh gosh, yeah, and that might have been around there right before '89 Batman, probably. Was when the Ninja Turtles came out. I do remember going somewhere. We couldn't find the turtles, right? Because was that it? Like we couldn't find the turtles. Like I remember not being able to find the turtles. Like really wanting the turtles, but them all being sold out. So I had to stick with like Splinter or Shredder or something.
Oh, right. But I remember us getting like some of the obscure characters. I think Toxic Avengers we were also collecting. I think it was also Playmates, and the molds were very similar.
You were collecting Toxic Avengers. I was enjoying watching you collect Toxic Avengers for the same reason that you collect toys now. Like that's probably where you get a lot of your my memory of the Toxic Avengers was very colorful, great box art, kooky characters, one of a kind things that were like talking points. Like, hey, check this guy out. He's got this weird leaky eyeball or whatever that is, and that's, to me, that encompasses your toy collecting. Like Toxic Crusaders, to me, encompasses your toy collectors. You as a toy collector.
How so?
Just because of the colorness, the colorfulness of the characters, the
Definitely.
box art, the zaniness of a person. Like, oh, cool! Look at all these accessories. Like he comes out of a trash can, and he's got this eye that is falling off of his head. That's cool. Glow in the dark would probably be another big one. I think that would.
I got some.
But I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
When you asked me that question earlier, I was going to actually say color. Like I tend to whenever there's a new colorway of a figure I already have and it's like black and white, I just look away. Like I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Like I want pops of color. And
or it's muted, or
Toxic Avenger was very much that for me. It was just hyper colored. Having said that, I haven't dipped into the Super 7 wing of it, but color is huge for me. I mean, look at this guy just popping off the screen.
I get it. I get it.
Color's fun. And cool, I appreciate you recognizing that. My earliest, I think, collection frenzy would probably have to be Garbage Pail Kids cards, 85. And that's maybe my earliest memory of just collecting and wanting to collect a whole line and putting them in the binder. And of course, they were all, blind bags of sorts. You didn't know what you're going to get in each individual pack, so you'd have like a stack of doubles, maybe things to trade with other people on the schoolyard. And obviously, that was like an early kind of like, well, there's two of every card, except they have different names. There's like an A and a B, right? You got one of a card, of a character. You're like, oh, I got to get the second one. It's the same card, but it has a different name. So it was my early kind of, there I had that character, that big dude. The rotund fellow, I had him. He's amazing. Yeah, dude, I want that. I totally forgot I had him, and I had Toxie, of course. I think those were my only two, really. Amazing, amazing. And what's cool about the Super Seven line is they keep the whole full giant amorphous weapons just non-painted, so it looks like those. Yeah, so Garbage Pail Kids. So like it kind of introduced me into a lot of the habits or the touchstones, like the variants of every single character. And my father remembers me like in the living room, at the house I grew up in, just like packing them up, unopening, because I would pick up, I try to get a handful of packs at once. I think maybe once or twice I had the luxury, maybe it was my birthday, to get a box of a particular series, and it'd come home and it'd be a fresh box. I don't know, 20, 25 packs. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, so Garbage Pail Kids were huge, and I would go to Capitol Cards and Comics in San Jose. Look at that, Series 1, I believe, right? No, what series is that? Nasty Nick. And maybe like the B to that would be Vampire Vince or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, I get it, yeah.
Yeah, so
I remember
cool.
these as well.
Great art.
Adam Bomb was always my favorite one. I really
I wanted my
wanted
name
that
to
card.
be Adam when I was probably in kindergarten, probably because of that card art.
Probably.
So yeah, Capital Cards and Comics. I'd go there, maybe get a pack or two. My mom would take me there on the weekend. We'd go to Togo Sandwich, get a number 24. She'd get the hot pastrami. And then I would have
Capital
a couple
Cards and Comics.
You remember that place? Did you ever go? Did we ever go together?
I do.
There was like a Montgomery Ward in the parking lot. Anyways, yeah, man, I don't have those cards anymore. I wish I did. It's probably for the best. I think I eventually sold them off to get other figures because that's what you did as a kid. You traded one collection in for the newest hotness.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just stopped.
I'm not a. Looks like they still sell them on. You can get the newer release ones from Amazon.
Yeah, the art's not necessarily my aesthetic anymore, but when I was a kid, it was right up my alley. How about for you? What's your earliest collector memory?
That is a good question. I definitely got my first G.I. Joe when I turned 5, and so that turned me on to the G.I. Joes. I think the one start where I really had to start collecting all of them was going to be like the X-Men trading cards from the 90s. Like if we're going to talk about collecting, and I wanted to collect the entire series,
I had those.
It was the X-Men trading cards, or the Marvel trading cards. I'm sorry, not just X-Men, but Marvel.
Definitely.
And so I ended up doing the same thing that you did with the Garbage Pail Kids, which is buying boxes and hoping for the best.
Those obviously had a rendition of the rare of the chase. They had the hologram cards, remember those? I had the Magneto one. I don't know what happened to it. I think someone in my family sold it eventually. But I was really proud of that Magneto. But yeah, man, that's excellent, dude. Cards. So yeah, cards were kind of maybe it was so affordable and they were kind of everywhere. Obviously, access is big for us when we were kids because we don't have the internet, or we didn't have the internet. So we'd see things in a store and that would kind of generate that interest for us. Cards.
It was small. It was like $2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So I think next week, just as a little teaser, maybe we can do maybe just a small timeline of like from then up until now. Like what do we find ourselves collecting? In the 2000s, maybe the 2010s. Maybe we took a break for one reason or another. Up to this point now, because obviously my collecting habits have. Let's say, as the universe does, it expanded to many other things at once.
Don't get started.
Toy Anonymous.
I got nothing.
We're here to share our stories. This is our first episode, obviously rough in spots. We're going to get lighting down. I'm going to get more stuff up on the walls, and we're going to keep having fun. Jason, thank you for joining me today. I've been Alex.
Yep. Thank you.
See you next time.